Hello and welcome back to Bannerlord and Byron's Adventures. Now we are in our management screen here to create our very own army, and you may notice that I'm actually only recruiting people that are within 1 day of us. And there's a good reason for that. I'm currently in a siege and I would like them to come and help me as soon as possible. So let's get this guy as well. And, well, this guy's only 8 influence, but he's going to take 3 days to get here. Probably not going to be worth it. What about this guy? Yes, this guy as well. I don't really want to spend a huge amount of influence here because, of course, we do have the problematic, somewhat, situation where this is going to eat us basically out of any food that we have. So I'm just going to go with that, which is way too much. Way too much as it is. But you can see here that I'm actually building some trebuchets as well. Hopefully some people will end up joining me, and then we will be able to have a grand old time. Oh yes. Now, I've been looking around and basically speaking to a lot of Kaoses vassals. I actually came across Regea again, and unfortunately, she still is not willing to speak to me. Just purely for the fact that I've already attempted to persuade her, and that didn't really work out too well. Now, I can only hope that... Ooh, yeah, this is problematic. I was going to say, I can only hope that we have people joining us that actually have food in their armies, and they don't. This is going to be bad, isn't it? Yeah, this is going to be pretty bad, because here's the thing. I don't only want to do this. I actually want to do many sieges in this first initial bit of the episode, because I really want to take stuff. I actually want to continue taking things without using persuasion. Obviously, persuasion is probably the most powerful with the exception of trade skill. I personally feel like if you were to rank them into, like top 3, top 5, whatever ways of capturing territory, then trade skill is number 1. Absolutely number 1. I mean, I don't know how you can do any better, to be honest, than that. And then otherwise, what else? Then it's obviously charm skill. Charm skill, I think, would be the next. And okay, I'm going to give this to this guy, I guess. Yeah, why not? I don't think he has any places. Nah, he has nothing, as you can see, so it's going to go to him. But yeah, anyway, so charm skill is number 2, and then obviously the other thing that you can obviously rank them in terms of how effective each siege method actually is. So if you do go into an assault or something like that, then if you have a lot of food, I mean, I could technically auto-resolve here pretty easily, and I'd probably be able to do quite well with that. However, I'm a little bit dubious about doing that because I don't want to leave my vassals with, well, not much, if you know what I mean. Because if they go into an auto-resolve, they're going to take a lot of casualties, and then they're going to run around with a very small contingent of units, and that's not something I want. So we are going to have some difficulties here with our food, which I am not exactly pleased about, to be honest. Not exactly pleased. So now that the walls are down, we're going to lead our assault. Thankfully, we did not have to do any kind of auto-resolve, so that has saved us a massive amount of casualties. And even if the casualties are just knocked unconscious or anything like that, I kind of wanted to prevent, well, that from happening. Because if you prevent that from happening, then you have a much greater chance of being able to go on and do something else. And I'm thinking that I'm going to go and help Mantios after this. Mantios is actually in his own siege at Amatitis, I believe. I think that's the town that he's at. And if we can potentially help him, then we're going to be in a very good position there. Unfortunately, did I just kill one of my own guys? I think I did. Did I? No, I don't think I did. Okay, the enemy are actually Imperials. Whew, I was a bit worried about that for a second. I thought to myself, oh no, you killed one of your own men, Byron. That's Barney's thing. That's what Barney does. Not you, sir. Okay, yeah, well, this is going to be a bit problematic. I don't really want to consistently hit shields, so I'm just going to go behind them. Unfortunately, they are now facing their backs. Well, their fronts to me, some of them were. And yeah, anyway, going back to the discussion about siege mechanics, I personally feel like top 4, well, let's say 4 and 5 methods are, of course, going to be different kinds of siege. So, for example, if you're thinking about, well, you can't starve out people at the moment. There's no mechanic about that. But you can build siege equipment, and you can destroy the walls, like I have just done. And if you do go that route, make sure you have some food, you know, some spare food, because that is going to be very, very important. Hello, fellow, wanting to use a rock on my people? That's not very nice of you. I could actually pick up a stone. Should I? Wait a minute. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Yeah. No. Oh, hit him. Hit him. Hit him with your fists. Hit him with your fists. Yes, I was actually attempting to throw the stone or drop the stone on the guy as he was shooting his bow. But I thought that would actually be quite funny. But unfortunately, you know, that didn't work. But it did turn into its own amusing little moment there. Okay, hopefully I'm not going to get shot. As I wade in here. I'm taking quite a bit of damage, unfortunately, but that's fine because we do have a couple of people helping us out. But yes, number 4 is probably, you know, going in, destroying the walls, and then number 5 is building siege rams and battering tower, you know, siege rams and battering towers. I'd like to see that. I would like to see that. No, I'm talking about battering rams and siege towers, of course. So yeah, that's basically number 5, because you're always going to have massive casualties from doing that if you don't have the walls already down. But it does take a huge amount of time and resources to get those walls down, and you're going to need a really, really good amount of engineering skill to actually make that kind of viable. Because I can actually open this. There we go. But yeah, because obviously if you go in there with just a couple of siege towers and a battering ram, you're going to take just as many casualties, if not more, maybe less, it depends on the quality of your unit, than if you had just auto-resolved. Oh yeah, and that's actually another method. If you're going for the front assault method, then auto-resolve, in my opinion, dependent on the strength of the enemy's army, is probably the best way, because you're going to save time, you're going to save resources, and you're also going to save cohesion. So if you don't have a huge amount of, you know, influence to spend on your cohesion increases or something like that, then you don't really have to worry about it too much. Oh yeah, by the way, my own army is massive. I went to Phykeon as I was running around Khuzait territory, and I decided that I was going to take out a whole bunch of units and go on a bit of a siege spree, and I'm hopeful that we will be able to continue doing that. There we go. Pharaon is going to be looking after this. Very nice indeed. Should we take a look at some of our policies, by the way? Because as you can no doubt tell, I have a lot. Yes, I have a lot here. And I'm not entirely sure if everyone agrees on all of these. But what I know is that the support of the kingdom, that's what I'm going by at the moment. Literally, as you can see, 98% agree on most of it and 100% agree on the others. So as you can see, there's 2% here, 2%, 2%, 2%. If you see, by the way, if you see any really, really good laws that you think I should, you know, or should we say policies that I should institute in my faction, then by all means let me know, because, well, I've seen a couple of these and I think to myself, oh, yeah, that could be pretty good. Like war tax, for example. Gains 5% tax from all settlements. Town lose 1 prosperity per day. And the influence cost of declaring war is doubled for the ruler clan, which is obviously kind of harsh. However, if we're struggling on money, then the war tax might actually help us out somehow. Bear in mind that losing 1 prosperity is not actually that big a deal, as we have found out in the trader series, because the trader series, basically we went to a town and we had a look at the prosperity, and prosperity is actually not a thing that is just one value. I mean, it doesn't only have 1 point of prosperity per day that they gain or lose, and dependent on the town, you're going to be gaining, I don't know, 20, 30 prosperity per day, so losing 1 prosperity out of 30, not really the biggest deal. And gaining 5% tax from all settlements means that you might very well increase your money gain by a pretty significant amount. So war tax could be a thing that I might try to go for at some point, but I don't know whether it's really worth it. All right, so we're going to go over to the town now, because I believe that Mantios might actually still be there. However, bear in mind that my food situation might very well turn very, very sour very soon. And as you can see, yes, look at that. Okay, I'm going to have to let some of our guys go, unfortunately. Okay, how can I do this? Manage this. All right, so we're just going to... we'll let the smaller parties go. So we'll let this guy go. Kareth will stay with us. This guy can go. Anyone under 100, I'm just going to let go, I suppose. There we go. That seems about right to me. And we still have a massive combat strength. And we oh wow, yeah. I basically didn't let anyone go. I mean, I let some, but yeah. What? What's happening here? Are you serious? Melodia decided to attack my town? Ah, now that's grinding my gears. That is grinding my gears like no one's business. Okay, I really don't know why that happened, but I guess I just got to get rid of a couple more people here. Unfortunately. Okay, so we'll just go with that. Relatively small army of 800, yes. And we'll see actually what happens here, because they might decide to run away. I doubt it. Right, so we do have Ingaltha getting an army together, and he's all the way over at Charas, which is extremely far away. But as you can see, the Vlandians are taking massive damage from all over the place, basically. Not just from us. They're taking damage from everyone, pretty much, in the area, which is... I don't know how much I agree about that, to be honest. I would have much preferred that not to be the case. I actually thought that Mantios was still besieging this, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So, yeah, that's not great, right? Yeah, not great. So as you can see, we've actually recruited a huge amount of cavalry from my prisoners as well. I'm hopeful that they might not go forward with it. They might decide, hey, yeah, this is too dangerous for us, guys, and then they might leave. But it's highly unlikely that they'll do that, in my opinion. Okay, I guess what I'm going to do is I will disband my army completely. I actually wanted to, as I said, go on to Amatitis and see if I could, you know, do something there, you know, see if I can, you know, help out Mantios and potentially take that. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Okay, so we are actually taking another castle. Oh, no, that was not us. That was actually Battania as well. Seems like Battania is actually taking advantage of the current situation that we are causing, which I gotta say is... I'm not a big fan of that. Thank you. No, I'm not a big fan of that at all. So I guess what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go around to the various towns and villages in the area and see if I can actually buy some food and restock my supplies. Okay, so I've done something pretty daring here, and I don't know whether that is going to pay off at all, but we have taken another castle, as you can see, and we're going to be giving it to this guy, because, well, he actually... do I want to give it to this guy, or do I want to give it to someone else? Do they already have something? No, they don't have anything. Alright, why not? Let's give it to the Embers, then. I could have given it to Akram, but, yeah, I don't know. He's already got a good amount of relation with us, so I suppose it's not too big a deal. Anyway... I've just been running around with my standard army here. We're going to be doing an auto-resolve. Yes, I know, I said auto-resolve is, yeah, kind of dangerous. As you can see, we're actually ending up losing quite a few units in my army here. But that's the reason why I have so many units in my army, because we can actually do those things. And I would like to get this particular siege out of the way, because basically I think that Mantios should have been the one to have the claim on this particular place, and the Battanians coming in there was not exactly good. So I basically just wanted to get that captured as soon as possible. All right, so let's take a look here. We're going to give it to Godun, I guess. Godun or Akram. I'm going to give it to Akram, actually, because there's 50% chance. Well, 50-50 support, shall we say. And I think that Akram needs a little bit of relation anyway, so we might as well make that happen. All right, so the reason why I've done this is for the sheer fact that this town right here and this town of Xorberax have extremely small garrisons, as you can see right here. Look at this, 443, and in Amatatis it actually had about 230 or something like that. And I thought, wow, that's really, really good. And even if that means declaring war against the Battanians, I think it is worth me doing that. So we're just going to wait here for some time. I don't have an army or anything like that. It's just me. But if there is a large Battanian army presence that comes along and is like, oh, you know, we're kind of dangerous. We're kind of dangerous, then that's absolutely fine. Look at this. We're getting another thing besieged right here by one of the embers, which is actually very nice to see. I'm trying to restore myself at the moment. And who is that? Is that Rajea? No, that's Monchuk. Ooh, interesting. I have a feeling he's going to declare war relatively soon, because that's usually how it goes, you know? You have one faction that's at war against you, and then you find that you can't really take much more of their stuff without overextending or you know, whatever. I mean, technically we're not overextending because we do actually own a couple of towns in this area, but do you see what's happening here? Do you see the Battanian presence in this area? They are completely dismantling the Vlandians, and as a result, they are growing in power at a pretty considerable rate. As you can see, we have actually grown in power massively. We have 25,000. The Crusade have 27,000, so you can kind of get where I'm coming from now, where we could probably end up beating the Battanians and the Vlandians at the same time. That is a very lofty goal, suffice it to say, but I think it is probably going to be something that we are able to do. But are we going to be able to do it in a good amount of time? Because the Crusade are basically a ticking time bomb at this point. They are going to very quickly and probably... Oh dear. Yeah, that is a bit of a problem. Yeah, that was a... We had 25,000, right? We have 24,000 now. So we lost about 800 combat strength from that. The Vlandians also... I mean, the Vlandians. The Battanians also lost a bit, I think. Did they? Not entirely sure on that. But anyway, I have 61 wounded. I think that that should be enough for us to go in here and do something. How's the combat strength? Combat strength is looking pretty bad. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build onagers here. I feel like onagers are probably going to be quite good against the fast-firing ballistas. And maybe I should just build ballistas to fight ballistas. I'm not entirely sure on that. Well, it looks like something else was taken. Veron Castle, and we're going to give this to Camnon of the Hand. As you can see, he's got 85% support from basically everyone. We did actually take some things, as you can no doubt see right there. Yeah. We took 2 people prisoner, which is pretty nice. And we'll see how that goes. I think we're in a pretty decent position. Look at this. Look at this. We've just taken another castle. I have no idea how they're doing this. Oh, apparently I have all the support of all the people here. I only... What? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Yes, I'm losing a huge amount of cash. I might actually want to give this to myself. But I have no idea where it is. Owner of Garantok. I wish it would tell me where it is. But... yeah, I can't remember at the moment. So I guess I'm going to give it to myself just for the... I don't really want to do that. I'm going to give it to Godun, actually. Going to give it to Godun. And what we're going to do is once we've taken this town, I will give that to myself if I have the option to give it to myself. Because the town is going to give us more prosperity, more control over everything, basically. And I think that that is probably the way to go. If I can actually take it, that's the point. There is a big if over this whole siege. And Byron's engineering skill is actually almost 250, which is going to be very exciting because that means that... Oh, wow, we just took something else. Look at that. Because that means that we will be in a position to take a new trait, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so Joron is going to be getting this one. And I've got a lot of influence right now, and I'm thinking that I might try to give that to some people so that they can lead armies. Well, relatively large armies. Oh, they have some pretty good. Look at this. Look at this guy. He's got 978 influence. I've barely given him anything. Well, I've given him a little bit of influence in the past, of course. But that is pretty cool. Let's actually just go through a couple of people here and just give a little bit all throughout, just so that we can kind of see what their relation is at, so that we can potentially buffer someone just a little bit, just to make sure that they are as happy as possible. And I think we're... yeah, Prienikos. Prienikos is having some problems. Well, not problems, but they're lower in positive relation than most people. I could also get an army going here. Should we do that, actually? A really, really quick army? Let's see if I can do that. 18 hours, 23 hours. I need people that are really, really close. I know there was one guy with 1 day and 3 hours or something like that, so it might make sense for me to take that guy. But I don't really need that many. I just need a little. Sylvand, I guess. I just need a little. 849 should be enough to be able to take this with an auto-resolve if my onagers get destroyed. And it looks as though they are probably going to do that. Yeah, it seems like if you're going to do a town, you kind of need a trebuchet, I guess. Yeah, you kind of need a bunch of trebuchets. Especially against ballistas. I think that if we had catapults against us... Because that's another thing. That's another variable that you have to take into account. You have to take into account that the enemy defenders could actually have a specific kind of defensive siege equipment. But anyway, we're just going to go in right here with our auto-resolve and just brute force the entire thing. Because as you can see, my party's only losing a couple, and my armies are losing some more. And that's absolutely fine. That is well within acceptable limits. Wow, there's actually not many people I can take prisoner here and have a hope of potentially persuading, but oh well, never mind. Okay, let's have a look and see where this town might actually go to. I would like it to go to me. Yep, there we go. A lot of people are actually saying that Byron should take it, so I'm perfectly happy to take this one. And then we'll place all these prisoners in the garrison. That's the reason why I took all of them in the first place. So there we go. That's great. That is fantastic. We've taken a huge amount of territory in a very small amount of time, and that is probably going to come back and bite us pretty harshly, I think. But it's the best we can do. It's the best we can do. I can't really do much more at this point. I'm kind of in a bit of a weird situation because I don't really want to run all the way to Vlandian territory and leave all of the territory, the newly conquered territory that we've just taken. And, that's basically all I can do, declaring war on the Battanians and expanding our territory from this direction, because hopefully what I'll be able to do is actually make it possible for us to have a supply line, like a solid, very, I'm going to say adequately defended, not particularly well defended, but adequately defended thing going on, which would be quite nice. But anyway, we're going to recruit prisoners over time, and we're going to recruit new troops. Maximum amount of troops, let's do 350 once again. That seems to be a good number for towns, and that seems to be fine with me. We're going to train some troops in the garrison as well. Let's do the upgrade tier to tier 4, and the upgrade path should probably be cavalry. And actually I have no idea who to... yeah. Okay, no, I can't do that. I can't do an upgrade path, so I'm just gonna do nothing. They're just gonna have to upgrade them randomly, I guess, which is not exactly what I wanted, but I can't really do much about that at the moment. Okay, so that's great. There you go. That is absolutely fantastic. We basically took no time at all to do that, and now I can disband my army. And there we go. Fantastic. Garrios is doing... Ooh, he's doing a... Oh, wow. This is a really fun siege. Look at that. He is doing Maronath. Okay. That is very deep. Oh, wait a minute. Wow. My guys have gone on an absolute besieging spree. Look at this. We've taken this castle. We've taken this castle. We've taken, well, a bunch of different castles. Ah, wow. All right, so I am in a very difficult position here, and what I'm going to have to do is I will have to expel the mercenary clans that we persuaded in the first place to join us, and I'm going to have to get them gone. because as you can see right here, they're kind of destroying the amount of money that I have, and if I don't have money anymore, I can't pay my guys in my army. And yeah, I could put them in the garrison, which would probably make sense at this point, but I kind of wanted to go on to the nearby castle in Azerai territory next to Kazia or Kahir. I can't remember what it's called right now, but I'm going to have to do this, so we are going to propose it. Oh, this is kind of bad. That is kind of bad. Yeah, so Saruk is not going to be pleased about this, but I'm going to have to do it because otherwise I'm going to literally have no money whatsoever. So it's really unfortunate, to be honest, because I actually really liked having those guys joining us. And I think these guys are probably going to have to go as well, but I don't want them to go to anyone else. But just look at how much they are taking. They're taking 5,700. If I did not have these mercenaries, then I would literally be only losing about 2,000 per day. And that would be somewhat acceptable. So I think I'm going to have to get these guys gone as well. But the problem with that is that they are very strong. These guys are actually very strong. And I'm a bit worried about them joining someone else. But I don't know. I don't really know. I guess I'm going to have to do it. I might be able to get them back in the future, which is something that I would definitely be looking forward to if we can do it. But my money situation is so dire at the moment that I kind of have to make... As you can see, look at that. We're only losing 2,000. It is just so much better just to do that. So it's just really unfortunate that I was forced into it, to be honest. But anyway, let's move on down here, see if we can... Aha! Ortisia seems to be something that I might be able to take with a full-strength army. Maybe I could, draw a couple of people towards me. That might be pretty cool. Let's actually just go into Lagata for a real quick second here and just buy some food, because I am probably going to... Oh, yeah, there's literally no food here, is there? Yeah, that's somewhat problematic as well, isn't it? Yes, great. Okay, yeah, there's hog over here. I might be able to buy some hog, but bear in mind that look at my money situation right now. It's pretty bad. All right, let's just buy some products. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So my money situation is still awful. Let's just sell a little bit here, and we'll then just leave. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, that's Garrios. Oh, I thought that was Ingaltha's army, but no, that's Garrios' army. Do you see him? Look at what a crazy fellow he is. He's running around with a massive army. Why didn't you come over here and take Ortisia? Yeah, apparently he's not doing that. But as you can see, we're actually going to be taking another castle there as well. And yeah, pretty happy with this. Pretty happy. So what we're going to do is we're once again going to create an army. Everyone must be getting really annoyed at me for basically saying, "Hey, come and help me with this town, guys." Yeah. They probably are getting a bit irritated by that. But anyway, let's get the people that we can. Svana is nearby as well. And yeah, also, who knows? Maybe I'll be able to get those mercenary companies to join us just by sheer persuasive power. Because I've been able to do that with the other minor factions. With some other minor factions, at least. And it has proven to be quite effective. So I'm pretty happy. Wait a minute. Is that guy actually the leader of his clan? I'm not entirely sure if he is. But if he is, I would very much like to speak to him. Yes, he is. Okay, fantastic. All right, so someone has said actually in the comments that the various things that you can choose have an effect. Well, obviously, but I'm actually going to lead on to something. Have an effect on which kind of option you're wanting to use. So, for example, if you're using something like, "You must have heard of my deeds, I speak to you as one warrior to another." That is valor, in my opinion. Also, "You may know me as a man of honor." That is an honor selection. You see? But we don't have those available at the moment. So me choosing charm is going to give me a much lesser chance to have this work. So I thank you very much for letting me know that that actually has an effect, because I actually just thought that it took your charm skill and then just added it to the percentage chance of it actually working. I'm thinking of it very much in game terms rather than actual what we're actually saying. So I'm actually going to go for, "You must know of my reputation. You know that it's not in my interest to betray your trust." And boom, success. I think we're going to have much more success by doing it that way. So let's have a look here. Caladog is not known for keeping his word. Let's go for this one. I think that one is pretty good. And, okay, put your interests and the good of the realm first. There's too much at stake for that. Let's do charm on that one. And it seems to be working quite nicely so far. And we'll do this one. There we go. Critical success. And now let's see if he joins us for free. Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't join us for free. Oh, but he does join us for a very small amount of money. Yes. Perfect. Okay, let's do it. 18,400. Boom. Come and join me, Legion of the Betrayed. Oh, yes. That's going to be super fun to see them in action. All right, so that's great. Now, Ortisia, let's see if we can take this. And I'm going to try and besiege the town. We're probably going to go for... I would say probably go for another auto-resolve. I don't really like doing that much, because I actually like going in and fighting and having a fun time. But sometimes that is the most effective way of taking things without losing too much time and resources. Because as you can see, I only have 20... well, you can quite clearly see what's happening. I only have 20 days worth of food, and that can very quickly reduce dependent on what is actually happening. So let's just build some trebuchets just in case, because you never know. Maybe that's going to be a last resort that we'll have to complete. Can you... Yeah, there we go. Join me. Join me. Yes. More people, please. Okay, is that it? That's all I have? This might be problematic. Okay, well, this is going to go to Kareth, because I'm not going to take it. Thank you. I think I'm probably making enough money now, because I should be able to sell some gear, some loot, and things. I am just going to go for the auto-resolve here. That is going to result in a lot of casualties on my side. Do bear that in mind. But it is going to take this town, and I'm probably going to take control of this town myself. There we go. There we go. A lot of losses. A lot of losses. I know. You don't have to tell me. I know. But this is very much worth it, in my opinion. We're going to be taking all of these prisoners. I know that we're under the limit now, or should we say over the limit. And we're going to be taking a whole bunch of loot there too. All right, so let's take a look at the owner of Ortisia, yeah, they're basically wanting that to go to me. So I'm perfectly happy to take that. Thank you very much, fellows, for supporting me in that. And then we're going to go in and... Yeah, look at that. We're taking people prisoner. We're taking the Vlandians prisoner. We're fighting back. And the Battanians are, of course, also breathing down our necks now. So we do have to be a bit careful. And, oh, look at this. It seems like I actually have the ability to equip better armor. Very small amount of better armor by the looks of things. But it was free. And it looks cool. It looks kind of cool, in my opinion. So we'll just sell all of the stuff that I have here. Look at that. We're gaining another 25,000. Another 48,000, actually. And I can probably even sell more of this, if you can believe it. Yeah, I can probably sell even more of this. Look at that. That's pretty crazy. Let's see if they have any food. They do not have any food in their marketplace here. But what I'm going to do is basically, as soon as I have a good amount of cash remaining, so maybe like 1 million or something like that, I might try to get one of those mercenary parties to come back and join us, because I personally think it is a really cool idea to have those guys working for you, because they're going to work pretty hard to be paid, you know what I mean? So they're going to try their very best to do that, and that's exactly what we want. You know, we want people to work hard to try and gain territory for the realm and so on and so forth. So I can't do that. I can't just click and drag. Okay, it's kind of weird. Okay, well, that's fine. 200 prisoners in the garrison there, and once again we're going to be doing the recruiting prisoners over time thing, and we'll do 350 for the town once again, and we'll do that and so on and so forth. And I'm just going to leave the training at tier 3 for the moment, because I don't really see the need to go for anything more than that. And we're going to be disbanding our army now. They can just go and do whatever they want to do. They can try and recruit some more people. I mean, they can, leave and get some food and things like that. I mean, I'm only having 20 days remaining, aren't I? So might be actually kind of useful. And as you can see, oh, wait a minute. Jalmaris is actually under siege. All right, so I'm gonna have to go back there. I would assume that Chason is having a massive army. Oh, he's only got 750. This is kind of intriguing to me. Okay, so I'm thinking that he is the leader of his clan. So I should make... they're going to take it, I think. Yeah, they're going to take it before I get there, unfortunately, because I am just that slow. I can help. What actually happens if I help? How is the combat strength? Okay, the combat strength is kind of harsh. Can I take a look and see what they actually have here? Mounted skirmishers. They've got some Oathsworn. Oathsworn are pretty good, as far as I'm aware. I'm not that familiar with Battanian units. We got horsemen there as well. I'm thinking we're going to try, just literally for the pure fact that I don't want to go in and take this town again. And also I would like to try and get these guys taken prisoners so that we can potentially try to persuade them in the future. So let's see what we can do. Now, bear in mind that because I did make a brief stopover to Phykeon earlier in the episode, I do have a bunch of Palatine guards. And hopefully they are going to prove themselves to be very, very useful for us. And, well, my cavalry is enormous. I have a massive, massive amount of cavalry. And I'm very much hoping that we'll be able to do something with them. So let's see if we can... Maybe let's just charge my cavalry in here. See if we can fight off the enemy cavalry for the moment. And it seems to be working quite nicely just from our archers, actually. We haven't really needed to do too much. Oh, that guy took a tumble, didn't he? Yes, he certainly did. Yeah, so these horse archers are just going to literally be firing at whoever comes close. We're basically just going to hold position up until the time when I want to charge in, because I'd like to get as much damage out of our archers as possible, and being able to kind of let them do that is very, very powerful. Now we're going to tell our people to charge in. We're going to tell our cavalry is already charging, so not really necessary to do that, but yeah, we're going to tell our horse archers to charge in, and we should be able to win this, actually. I mean, you don't really want to charge in your infantry at this point, I don't think. Nice. Good damage on the Vlandian sharpshooter right there. Definitely wanted to eliminate those guys. Stab him. Stab him, or in my case, poke him a little bit. Yes. Poke him a little bit with a, I don't know, silicon-tipped prong of some kind, because it's basically just a poking device when I do 2 damage. Literally. Can you imagine that? Literally. So someone going in with like a rubber tipped little poking stick and just going like, yes, I can do some damage. Yes, 2 damage. Very good. Yeah, but it seems like that is actually going to be in our favor, because they literally just charged in their cavalry, as the AI tends to do most of the time. And they actually don't do that all the time, though. I think that they do that mostly because they believe they can win just through sheer brute strength. And I gotta say, I don't really agree with that. I'm gonna tell my range to skirmish now, and I'm also gonna tell my infantry to auto-delegate. Someone actually asked me in the comments why I'm not using the auto-delegation anymore. And, well, for the most part, I would say that the auto-delegation is pretty good. I would say that generally it does keep your units alive a little bit longer than it used to. You know, I mean, obviously, auto-delegation in Warband was not a thing. That just wasn't a feature that was available. But if you are, for example, like me, and you kind of like to get into the action and do a bunch of damage, and you're kind of getting yourself distracted many times over, then having the ability for the AI to decide itself what it's going to do is very powerful. Because then you can basically just enjoy the fight, and you don't have to really worry about tactics or anything like that. As you can see, my archers have actually maneuvered into such an amazing position that they are actually on the side of the battle now, in comparison to what they were before, where they were at the back and they were kind of in a bit of an awkward position. So if you don't have the, well, shall we say, vision or time, or just, you know, if you're just a bit lazy like I am, then you don't really have to worry about positioning your units any further. And I think that that's actually pretty cool. Of course, if you do want full control, then you have full control. You know, it's not an option that you have to use, which I think is pretty nice. Now, we are ending up losing quite a few units on my side, but I think that most of my units are knocking unconscious. Yes, it seems like most of them are falling unconscious here, which is really not a big deal. Now, the only problem that I have, as you can see, look at this. The infantry was actually forming a defensive ring around the missile troops, which is actually really cool. And they were actually doing some really advanced maneuvers there, which I don't think you can actually... I think you can do that with the manual, because if you go here and you have a look at formations and you go in circle, so you could do circle with your infantry, and if you're up against a whole bunch of cavalry, then that's a really good way to go. Unfortunately, that does not really work too well against horse archers, in my opinion. I don't think it works too well against horse archers. I've used horse archers against the ring formation, and it has not been that effective. So that's something to bear in mind. But the cool thing, as I've said about that auto delegation, is that they're able to do those advanced mechanics without you having to actually do much. But the main problem with auto delegation is that I have found when I have been eliminated and auto delegation takes over, the AI that takes over tends to be very tentative and tends to be not aggressive enough when they need to be aggressive, if you know what I mean. So, for example, when you have a bunch of people charging at you and you're like, okay, I'd like to, you know, I'd like to charge in because you're quite obviously going to win this battle, you know. I mean, we are quite obviously going to win this battle, but the AI is like, oh, I'm not entirely sure. I don't really want to go in there, you know. And they're being a little bit cautious, shall we say. And generally, I would say erring on the side of caution is definitely a good way to go. But in some cases, that's definitely not a good idea. So that can happen and has happened before for me. And it has almost resulted in us actually dying because, well, losing the battle because they are being so passive that the enemy's archers are capable of doing so much damage and not be attacked at all. And that's the main problem with auto delegation. That's generally the reason why I may not use it that much. But it's cool. It is cool, and I very much appreciate them adding that in because I think it is a very cool accessibility option as well. Because if you're someone that is not particularly, you know, wanting to put in a huge amount of effort in learning the formations or anything like that, or if you just want to have a fun time and you want to play on the lowest difficulty possible because you don't care about the challenge, you just want to have a fun experience. And I think that the accessibility of auto delegate is fantastic. You can basically just do whatever, and it's really cool. And then you get to actually watch the battle as well. You know, for example, if you don't really want to fight, you can play as a commander, and you can kind of just leave the units to do whatever they want to do. But there you go. We actually defended Xorberax, if you can believe it. I'm actually kind of surprised that I was able to do that. I really thought that we might end up losing pretty heavily there, but no, we actually ended up achieving a victory against the combat strength's wishes, I guess you could say. But anyway, I'm just going to take a bunch more people into the prisoner's hold here. I'm not entirely sure how many I can even put in. It seems like I have a lot of space, actually, so nothing really to worry about. I'm just making sure that I'm not putting anything in that I could potentially persuade to join us. But there you go, 300 units in the garrison there, or shall we say in the dungeon. And yeah, we've been doing great. We've been doing absolutely great. And as you can see, we now have, well, we have 22,000 because we've lost so many troops. But the Vlandians have 2,800. And the Battanians have 13,000. The Kaoses are going to be our last opponents, which is actually kind of hilarious considering I actually said I wanted to eliminate them first. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.